Hello everyone, my name is Steve Emerson and I'm the Outbound Product Manager for ITOM Visibility here at ServiceNow. Today I'm going to demonstrate how you can automate certificate fulfillment requests for Entrust certificates with ServiceNow. ServiceNow's Certificate Inventory and Management provides a holistic solution for discovery, lifecycle management, and fulfillment of Entrust TLS certificates. Before I show you the demo, here is a quick overview of how it works. First, we provide you with a single pane of glass for you to visualize certificate workflow automation, which enables you to track automation value over time. Automated workflows begin by submitting requests in the service catalog for new, renew, and revoke. Next, a routing policy processes the requests to the Entrust CA gateway, with the option of having an approval before being processed. After that, Workflow automation sends the request to the Entrust CA gateway for processing. Once the request is completed, a change request is created to ensure governance of the process. Once processed by the Entrust CA gateway, the requested certificate and corresponding certificates from the chain are stored in the CMDB. By automating certificate fulfillment requests for Entrust with ServiceNow, you will be able to reduce time and effort with automated processes, establish governance procedures, and reduce security risk and improve the customer experience. Now, onto our demo. We will start with the single pane of glass dashboard that enables you to see the automation value over time. Here you could see up top the number of open requests we have for new, renew, and revoke tasks. Now, as you can see, they're all zero because we are automating processes here. The only reason why these things would be larger than zero would be a situation where we are waiting for approvals before these requests can be processed. But the whole idea behind automation is you submit a request and there's automation behind the scenes that processes it and it closes out. Here we see certificate task automation trends. Now I'm only showing 1 month here, but as you can imagine, as we start to use this product over time, you'll start to see trends as to how many new certificate requests, how many renews, how many revokes you're tracking over time. And then of course down below here we can see our task state by the last 30 days as well as our tasks by certificate authority. Let's go ahead and request a new certificate. We'll click on our service catalog and we have a category for certificate management and we have a category for automated flow. These 3 requests here are the ones that you would use if you want to request automated fulfillment for your certificates through ServiceNow. We have a new, renew, and revoke. The revoke catalog item here is only available or shown to those individuals that have the PKI admin role because we don't want just anyone to request a certificate revocation. Let's go ahead and request a new certificate. The purpose of the certificate is external. We'll paste in the certificate signing request. As soon as you click out of that field, you can see validation on the right-hand side about the subject common name and more details about the certificate. This gives the requester the option to back out if he or she believes that this is an invalid data here. I'm okay with this, so I'm going to proceed. You could choose the maximum validity period. By default, we set it the maximum of 365. For each certificate, you could set this number lower if you'd like. Maybe you're only requesting it for a temporary project, for example. Here we can relate this certificate to an application service, or application server by clicking these little icons here and then searching the CMDB for the relevant information. Here we're going to choose a certificate owner group. I have one called certificate owners, as well as an owner of the certificate. I'll choose myself. This information here gets stored on the CMDB and will be used later for tracking ownership as well as generating the automated renewal tasks, which I'll talk about next. First, we'll choose the environment. I'll choose development, but you can certainly choose any other environment here. And you could even update this form to your own needs. as well as renewal tracking. By default, ServiceNow generates a certificate renewal task 60 days prior to expiration. That number can be set by you as well, but there's two types of tasks that get created. Priority 1, these would be for your most business critical certificates. Those can be tracked separately and can be reviewed on a more regular basis than all of your other certificates, which would be more of a priority 3 task. Or if you're just requesting this certificate temporary purposes, maybe it's for a project and you don't want to renew it, you could say do not create renewal tasks. We'll go ahead and submit this request. And as soon as we do, we will start to see some information here in the activity log. We've triggered the automated flow. We've received the serial number ID. And right now it is communicating with the Entrust CA gateway to process the request. And it is already completed. Now, if we refresh this task, we will see that the requested certificate along with the certificate chain are attached here to the task as well as stored in the CMDB. The person can then take these certificates and apply them to the specific system, to the server or to the host. And if we scroll down, we can see that a change request was created as well. This was a normal change request created for tracking the request for that certificate. That'll go through a normal change management process. Now, this was processed by a routing policy. Let's take a look at the routing policy. The routing policy, and you could have one to many of these, it's basically a set of criteria that is tried to match up against the request that you just submitted. This here points to an Entrust CA gateway. If I look at this, I can see that it points to the base URL that is going to process the Entrust request. Entrust also requires the certificate authority identifier as well as the certificate profile. You can get that from the Entrust CA gateway. And then you could choose the purpose of the certificates if this is external, right? You'll set a credential alias in ServiceNow. You need a credential in order to connect from ServiceNow to Entrust for authentication purposes. Here we can choose the environment that this is for, so development, disaster recovery, production, subproduction, as well as the assignment group for any manual tasks that could get created as part of the process. Here's the maximum validity period. We can set this number to a max of 365 or anything lower than that. Now, when I say that you can have multiple routing policies per CA, it really comes down to setting this information at the bottom, the subject common name, the alternative name, and all the certificate data. Most organizations don't like to use wildcards, which is what I'm showing here. It's not a best practice at all, but you can certainly set specific information in these fields. And then when you submit a request on the service catalog, it attempts to match up that data to data on a routing policy. Once it matches, it gets processed by that specific routing policy. And you may choose to require approvals, which is actually also an industry best practice for each request that goes through. Now, I have set this to not approval, so we can streamline the automation during this demo. Now that I've showed you the routing policy, let's take a look at the service catalog once again. And we'll go into the automated flow. Now the renewal, I will show you the form, but I'm not going to process this because it's pretty much the same. The only thing missing is the creation of the tasks. Do we want to create priority 1s, priority 3s, or do not renew? We carry over whatever was selected when we requested it originally. And of course, here you'll have to choose the certificate rather than just pasting in the CSR and creating one from scratch. But let's go through and process a certificate revocation. Here we have to choose an issued certificate. So I will search for one that I just created, domain.com, and I will choose a reason why we want to revoke this. No longer needed. We'll submit it, And we get this one more box that just confirms that we want to do it, just to make sure we're not picking the wrong thing here. Because once you revoke a certificate, of course, that can cause it to stop working, which would not be a good thing. So let's go into that task. It is currently being processed, and then now it has completed. Let's take a look at the status of the certificate. Here we can see that the certificate is now revoked. It's revoked here in ServiceNow on the CMDB as well as on the Entrust CA Gateway. And if we scroll down here, we can see that a change request was created as well as we create an emergency change request for a certificate revocation so that it can go through a different change process. This is not to be taken lightly. Okay, let's go back to our certificate management dashboard. And we are looking at our automated flow tab, which is that single pane of glass that helps you visualize your certificate workflow automation trends. Here we can see that the number of new requests went up. The number of revoke requests went up. The total number of requests went up. However, we still have a bunch of zeros across the open requests. That is because we use automation to increase certificate fulfillment efficiency. So by using ServiceNow with Entrust, you'll be able to reduce time and effort with automated processes, establish governance procedures, as well as reduce security risk and improve the customer experience. If you have any further questions about our certificate management solution, please leave a comment below or reach out to your ServiceNow account team. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day.